Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Got the Bitcoin price chart up here right now, guys. We're trading at 16,200 for Bitcoin. We did see a bit of a decline yesterday, but for all intents and purposes, the market is pretty much just chopping sideways, has been over the last several days. So this is the Bitcoin chart on the daily. Bringing up the XRP chart real quickly, you guys can see, get rid of some of that. You guys can see XRP has actually fared not as well. The price decline in XRP is more significant. You guys can see that down here on the chart, more selling, negative pressure as per this volume bar over here. So the crypto market taking a bit of a hit today. Market cap hovering just under 820 billion. You guys can see over here, Bitcoin dominance sitting at 38%. So Bitcoin down a little bit, 2.01%. We got Ethereum down about 3.6%. BNB coin has taken a hit as well, 5.8%. Down here, we got XRP down 6.77%, and Dogecoin as well. So XRP and Dogecoin, two cryptocurrencies that were performing quite well over the last 7 days, are both down quite significantly. So catching up to the rest of the market, you guys can see in the last 24-hour column here, a lot of these cryptocurrencies are down. And so, why are they down? Why are we seeing the market take a bit of a tumble? Well, in the grand scheme of things, bringing up the total market cap here, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a huge move. We're still kind of in this wait and see period, guys. Here, if I just take a look at the total market cap on a zoomed out view, you guys can see level of support still trying to hold over here. Let me zoom in here, taking a look at that old level of support right down in here. Okay, let me circle that from back in, when was that? June 18th, 2022. We did wick off that. That made a brand new, fresh lower low back then. And you guys can see we are flirting with that level. We have been flirting with that level ever since, but we are hitting it now. We hit it once. We wick down in there, second time, a third time down in here. And now we're getting very, very close to that same level of support on the total crypto market cap right now. So, we're kind of in this wait and see period, as I mentioned before. Are we going to be able to hold this support level or not? It's interesting considering what else we are seeing in the crypto space. Mr. Whale at Whale Chart here on Twitter posted this. Now, we know Binance has been in the news quite a bit. We know CZ was responsible, fully responsible, partially responsible for the FTX collapse. I don't know what your opinions are on that. Put it down in the comments section if you do have a strong opinion about that. Binance Cold Wallet transferred all 127,351 BTC worth about $2.06 billion to a new address just now. As of now, no clarification has been given. So what the heck is going on with the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, where they're shifting all of their 127,351 Bitcoin to a brand new address? Reza Arian down here saying no need clarification. It's all clear to us that they're going to play with the market over and over. Calps down here, taking a pessimistic view. It's over, guys. Just regular rotation of wallets, guys. That's what someone else is quoting that somebody said here. So, I don't know. What does this mean? ComYZIO here saying, ask CZ Binance himself. I don't think CZ has actually responded to this thread, but he has been tagged in this tweet several times. So, guys, we got to keep an eye on this. What was a little more disconcerting was how David Schwartz responded to this particular tweet thread. Okay, this is from Bitfinex, saving this one, folks. So he just took a screen grab here from this tweet from Fatman Terra on Twitter. Odd. I see it used constantly to mock people claiming that Tether is unbacked. Is Tether shady at times? Yes. Have they committed fraud in the past? Yes. But are they making tons of money hand over fist to cover potential holes? Also yes. And will it depeg to $0? Nope. Now, David Schwartz responded to this. People said the same thing about FTX since the exchange was estimated to be making $3 million per day. But that didn't work out so well, did it? Bitfinex responded here in 2019. Bitfinex claimed to make $1 million a day, but then complained about less than $1 million in expenses for the NYAG investigation over a period of nearly a year. David Schwartz responded to that. Estimates of how much they make can be wildly off due to fake volume and customers with huge fee discounts, almost the same thing. The amount of money lost could be orders of magnitude more than many expect. FTX-like collapses of Binance and Bitfinex are entirely possible. Essentially stating, these guys routinely, I don't know how much David Schwartz really knows about this, but David Schwartz does seem to be quite on the money when it comes to a lot of these types of predictions. Well, market predictions are a whole other ball of wax, can of worms, whatever you want to call it. But, considering he is as influential as he is in the crypto space and, he knows a lot of people working in crypto, he understands who is invested in a lot of these coins. He understands how the market becomes manipulated. And I have a feeling this is why he could accurately predict back in April of 2021 that XRP hodlers should probably take profits. Although that was likely his most unpopular tweet, which ironically probably became one of his most popular tweets, because he was able to predict the shift in the market. And I did a video on that, guys. If you didn't catch that, I'll link that up here in the top right-hand corner. But I'm getting off topic here. The fact is, David Schwartz has connections. He does understand the market, and he does understand what these exchanges are doing. Now he's saying, and I'm not saying this is a prediction, but now he is saying, an FTX-like collapse for Binance and Bitfinex are entirely possible just based on what we have seen in the past with some of these shady operators. Now, you couple that with what Binance has been doing, or what they have done, according to Mr. Whale here, transferring all 127,351 BTC to a new address just now. Gets me scratching my head. I don't know if we've ever seen an exchange really do that in the past. Maybe I'm wrong. Please do put it down in the comments section if you guys have seen that in the past. All good excuses, guys, to purchase a cold storage solution, and today is the last day for the Ledger Nano Black Friday weekend sale. You can still get 10% off if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, Monday, because Monday is the last day. You just need the code BLACKFRIDAY10. I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video. You can use my link if you want. You don't have to use it. I just thought I'd let you guys know. I said I'd do it yesterday, and I'm also doing it today because today is the last day. Always good to keep your cryptocurrency safe on a cold storage wallet solution, because if you do not have your keys, technically the crypto's not yours. Considering what we've been hearing from all these exchanges, like even just the other day, AAX just kind of mysteriously deleted their YouTube page and halted transactions, halted withdrawals for 15 days. This is all getting really scary, guys, so just be prepared. I wouldn't want you guys to be holding the bag at the end of the day. So again, I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video if you want to use it for ease of use. I want to keep moving, guys. Thankfully, Ripple and XRP are continuing to trailblaze a path of real-world utility in the crypto sector. Ripple partner Finastra just today announced a new center of excellence. Guys, this is coming from Mike Manfield on Twitter. Finastra today announced a new center of excellence at Malaysia's Meranti Technology Park in Kuala Lumpur. Meranti Park is a hub for technology innovation, commercial adoption, and scientific excellence. It is an ideal location for Finastra to expand its Asia-Pacific footprint, further contribute to the local economy, and promote science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. Careers in a region dedicated to innovation. So Ripple partner Finastra, they will benefit from Meranti's integrated infrastructure and services. It will be able to tap into local IT talent, including from nearby universities, and the growing startup technology community there. We've been hearing a lot about Ripple-enabled Finastra integrating with new companies using their Fusion Fabric solution. Obviously, they're seeing now an opportunity to invest into other opportunities, in this particular case, the Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur. And you know what this kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of how Ripple is, created their Spring arm to help developers, to fund grants and help developers be able to, learn and grow and develop on the XRP ledger. While fostering and helping, educational endeavors, this is also going to help companies like Finastra. So, it does make sense in that respect. Simon Paris, CEO of Finastra, he said, growth in the Asia-Pacific region is one of our key company's strategic commitments, and opening a center of excellence in Kuala Lumpur is an important milestone to help us achieve this goal. The site is a hub for technology innovation, and Meranti's desire to act as a conductor, incubator, and catalyst to transform ideas from early stage ideation to impact complements our collaborative mantra to drive innovation and technology acceleration around digital trade, digital finance, and acceleration to cloud in line with government initiatives around digitization there. So notice that mandate. Acceleration around digital trade, digital finance. So, we're thinking DLT technology, blockchain, right? It's also in line with their government initiatives. So, a 2030 agenda, great reset of the financial system kind of ideology there. It is also a testament to our highly valued Malaysian banking and financial services customers. So An interesting update there. Wanted to thank Mike Manfield for posting that. I also saw this guy's from the Wrath of Kahneman. This has to do with Ripple partner ABA Bank in Cambodia. ABA Bank launches their first instant card issuance kiosks in Cambodia, powered by Compass Plus Technologies. So Ripple partner ABA Bank, Cambodia's leading financial institution, has become the first bank in the country to launch instant card issuance kiosks using Compass Plus Technology solutions. This new service will enable the issuance of international debit cards, Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay, and local Cambodian shared switch cards via self-service kiosks, ensuring the bank's customers receive debit cards on the spot in under 2 minutes. So this is interesting. It sounds like the domestic payments likely won't use Ripple and XRP. However, I am wondering about these international debit cards and if there is going to be some kind of back-end mechanism that will use the XRP ledger. ABA's bank's mission is to deliver the best banking experience to its customers, both in-branch and digitally. This led the bank to embark on this project to offer an instant issuance service that would allow its customers to receive their new cards quickly and independently. The pilot launch of the bank's first self-service kiosk was well received by customers for the convenience it provided. Today, ABA Bank has 90 instant card issuance kiosks operating in over 80 branches and ABA 24/7 self-service banking spots across the country. Since launching the kiosks, ABA Bank has successfully issued 191,000 debit cards, and that is likely going to grow to even more. So another instance, ABA Bank bringing what sounds like an under or underserved community into the 21st century when it comes to banking, utilizing these particular cards, and not just for domestic payments, guys, also international debit cards. And they're partnering up with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay. So another interesting Ripple Net connection there. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Now, guys, the FTX story is still rattling quite a few people in crypto. Retail investors are still obviously very skeptical. Like I said, over the weekend, I did go to a party and I was talking to some guy about crypto. He was very skeptical as to why I was invested in XRP. And then so I asked him, I go, so what are you invested in? And he says, well, nothing right now. I don't really want to be in the market right now. It's down. And I thought to myself, yes, there's a lot that is very, very scary in this market, but this is when millionaires are made. Not financial advice, of course, but historically when markets have been down 75, 80%, these are the times to buy in order to leverage your cash for maximum profit. And I'm not suggesting you put all your money in right now. What I am suggesting, though, is to, take a look. At least this is what I'm doing. Take a look at how the market is behaving, how it's reacting. And, this is a bit of a different cycle than we've seen in the past because there are so many other things going on in the world, in finance specifically, that this market might behave a little differently than markets previous. So, a good opportunity to, ladder in slowly. We know the good news, though, is that cryptocurrency is not going away. The FTX thing, though, has definitely proven to be a black eye on the industry. This one from Ian Binns here. FTX fall was incredibly damaging. Crypto must foster real utility to move forward. So this is coming from Ripple's APAC policy director. He described the fall of FTX as incredibly damaging for the crypto space, but says the industry should stand the test of time if its focus shifts towards building real-world utility. So this coming from Rahul Advani. He says he expects the FTX saga to lead to a greater scrutiny of crypto regulations, while governments will reevaluate their stance towards crypto and blockchain technology. He added, the collapse of FTX is incredibly damaging for the crypto space and once again underscores the need for greater regulatory clarity. So, hitting this point home, Ripple has always wanted this regulatory clarity. So, it's no surprise that their employees, even in the APAC region, even, ones where the regulatory clarity does not affect them directly, they are obviously pushing that same message. The regulatory clarity is really what's going to get this crypto industry thriving. Unfortunately, there are people at the top that want to slow it down. Maybe it's moving too fast for the big banks. And so the technology's there, it's ramping up. It is, in some cases, maybe moved a little too fast for the industry to keep up with it. And this is partially why we are in the problem we are in. Advani argues that the industry will need forward-looking and flexible regulations to boost confidence in the crypto sector while protecting customers. Another quote from him, these regulations must include robust measures for consumer protection, but also recognize the different risks posed by business-facing crypto companies. What we don't want to see is a knee-jerk response which could stifle innovation within the sector, he added. Following the collapse of FTX, a number of regulators around the world pledged to focus on developing greater crypto regulation. And then they just go into a few examples of that. The Australian government, the IMF, the CFTC in the United States, how they said on November 18th that the time to act on crypto regulation may have arrived, prompting experts to warn that crypto is in the crosshairs of U.S. lawmakers. So, all the same kind of song and dance here. Around the world, we are already seeing crypto regulation, meaningful crypto regulation in certain countries. And so, it's just the big banks in the United States that need to catch up. And this is likely why we are seeing it lag behind in the US. BondCrypt XRP posting this. So this story extends to other companies like BlockFi. Let me just go down here. Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's general counsel, echoed the SEC's recently released annual report in which the agency praised itself. The report shows that the commission brought 760 enforcement actions this year, a 9% increase from last year. Well, of course, they got to keep their numbers up to make themselves look good. Not impressed with the numbers. According to the SEC, a record $6.4 billion in penalties and restitution was imposed on behalf of investors. This is the highest amount in SEC history and an increase from $3.852 billion in the fiscal year of 2021. Here's a quote. "I continue to be impressed with our division of enforcement." This is from the SEC, obviously. "These numbers, though, tell only part of the story. Enforcement results change from year to year. What stays the same is the staff's commitment to follow the facts wherever they lead." But Ripple's Stuart Alderoty, he was less impressed with the numbers, accusing the U.S. agency of bearing much of the responsibility for BlockFi's demise, as well as engaging in unethical practices. So guys, here's what happened with BlockFi, and John Deaton retweeted out Stuart Alderoty's tweet with regards to this. I encourage everyone to read the two tweets below. Read it and just think about it. That's our SEC and Gary Gensler in action. Don't forget, the co-lead SEC attorney prosecuting the Ripple case left midterm to go work for BlockFi. And so let's get into this. Nothing was ever registered per the BlockFi/SEC deal. This coming from Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's in-house counsel. What about the first two payments on the $100 million fine? If they were made, did the SEC confirm BlockFi's ability to pay and or the source of the funds? So guys, this is where it gets a little tricky. FTX, on their books, they showed a $250 million loan to BlockFi, and now customer funds are blocked. So despite BlockFi's ending up intertwined with FTX and customers left holding the bag, the SEC still markets the BlockFi deal as another win for regulation and enforcement. Oh, what a tangled web. And so he links the press release there from the SEC's website. Digital Perspectives here responding. Here's a thought. Gary Gensler failed approach to use regulation by enforcement over clear guidance beyond the Howey test leads to a cascading effect, systemic collapse of the broader crypto market and infrastructure. Pending on one's motive, failed may not be the right word here. B. Mill down here saying, more like purposefully turning his head to wrongdoing, because I'm willing to bet he's involved with some of it. So some here assuming maybe the SEC had some tricks up their sleeve in order to, maybe generate more revenue in a not so ethical way. Cowboy Crypto down here saying, there's a lot of shady antics going on within the FTX and Alameda ecosystem. This is quite alarming as well. Enough for the Fluent director to comment on this post. And then he retweets out a tweet that he posted a few days ago. Jimmy Life down here saying, damn, here's the knife, just twisted some more. So FTX customers' funds were possibly used to pay initial installments to the SEC towards the $100 million fine against BlockFi. Wow. Unbelievable how this is unfolding. Bill Morgan here also tweeting out with regards to this tweet from Stuart Alderoty, or another tweet actually from Stuart's tweet thread. So what you're saying is that the crypto assets of FTX and BlockFi investors, whom the SEC is meant to protect, by the way, which the SEC probably thinks are securities, were stolen to use to pay BlockFi's SEC fine, and the SEC received stolen funds. Is receiving stolen funds a crime and a felony? So this again, responding to Stuart Alderoty here, that second tweet that we did talk about. David Schwartz also responding. Worse, BlockFi borrowing funds from FTX for fines may be connected to BlockFi assets being stored at FTX. In other words, the SEC may have made BlockFi so weak financially that it had no choice but to store crypto at FTX to continue operating, possibly the cause of their collapse. John Deaton responding down here, if the reports are true and FTX's $250 million loan to BlockFi was conditioned on BlockFi holding its customers' funds on FTX, the DOJ can use this transaction alone to establish jurisdiction and specific intent in a fraud case. XRP Snaky responding, there is never any accountability in US government. It's like a free-for-all. Set up shop in the Bahamas and do whatever crimes you want, make money and pay back Democrats so they'll protect you. And Digital Asset Buy here responding, this reminds me of the Sopranos episode where they destroyed the guy's sporting goods store. Greg Kidd was right. The SEC is like Tony Soprano. I don't know if you guys have seen The Sopranos. Great series, one of my favorite television series of all time, just as a side note there. But it is something similar to that. The SEC acting like, somewhat of a mafia, purporting that they are serving the small investor, the retail investor, meanwhile taking stolen funds from one scandal to pay off fines that another company owes them because of the business affairs and connections of said two companies, namely BlockFi and FTX. It doesn't sound like it's going terribly well, but guys, for XRP hodlers, we said this is going to be a landmark case, and it's looking as though Reuters is also noticing this. I saw this from Ian Binns. Until the Ripple ruling, the crypto industry won't know the impact of the regulator win over the library case. So guys, this coming from Reuters.com. They posted this a while ago, but it was interesting to note what they mentioned down in here, noticing how important the Ripple case is. This was when the library results did come out. So we know the library story, basically. The court ruled that the library tokens were in fact securities. Let me read you guys a little bit of this. It is perhaps most consequential language of the ruling. So Barbarato, he was the judge in the library case. He said that any reasonable purchaser of the token would expect library to use its own stake, hundreds of millions of tokens to boost the value of the cryptocurrency. The structure alone, the judge said, would lead purchasers of library tokens to expect that they too would profit from the holdings of tokens as a result of libraries' assiduous efforts. That's ominous language, considering that the library model in which blockchain developers retain a big stash of the tokens that serve as currency on their platforms is not at all unusual. But I'd suggest the industry wait for a decision in the SEC's closely watched case against Ripple Labs Inc. before deciding that the sky is falling. Because with the Ripple case, it is going to get even more detailed as to what constitutes a security versus another type of offering. Let's not forget, if I move down here, there are to date nearly 700 docket entries in the Ripple case, compared with only 86 in library. If the SEC wins summary judgment against Ripple, the industry will have real cause to worry. So they are basically stating here that the SEC, it's a big move. If the SEC wins against Ripple, that is going to set a lot of precedent. However, the reverse is also true. If Ripple wins against the SEC, this is going to open up the crypto industry to more positivity with regards to a lot of these companies that were, offering cryptocurrencies in some sort of similar fashion. Some are going to be considered ICOs, others not. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that up because this is a mainstream news outlet saying how important the Ripple case is, and just, giving the example of library as who could be affected. Want to keep moving, guys, because as David Schwartz usually does, keeping us on our toes with this cryptic tweet here. David Schwartz, that'll stop all the nuisance tripping, holding the breaker back with a wire so that it does not reset the system. Now, on the surface, all these tweets look fairly innocent. However, we've got the XRP community reading into this. Is this a switch? Asks XRP Captain down here. Haha, that's awesome. It looks like we will see more, says Frank Castillo. But I think Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed, he really kind of sums it up here. The reason for the wire is because this breaker keeps tripping. One must assume that even after this wire has been placed, it has tripped again but cannot be reset due to it being sort of held back. So once the wire, i.e. the SEC, is removed, then only then can the switch be flipped. So is this a bit of a riddle from David Schwartz, suggesting that RippleNet utility will in fact begin to flow in the United States once we see that wire removed? The wire, of course, representing the SEC. And, we've heard similar statements from Brad Garlinghouse, going on the record saying that Bank of America is essentially one of their clients that is ready to step up, utilize RippleNet, use XRP in a real world capacity. And this is an American company looking to do this once we see that regulation. That breaker is not tripped. This coming from a former electrician here. Okay, so the technicalities. A few other people down here responding to this. Here, let me just go down here. This is a funny one down here. Types of switches, of course, BTC, the knob and tube wiring, ETH, work in progress. But XRP, that switch is ready to flip. So guys, are we going to go to the moon? Are we going to continue to see these types of glitches? All very good questions. Sam Beta down here also responding to this. So we know this was deliberately pulled from the interwebs as a message. looking to decode David's message even further, I'm trying to take a crack at it here. All right, I don't think the numbers have any significance. Rather, there is symbolism in the switch. When a breaker is tripped, it has to be reset. In this picture, the breaker can't trip due to the device stopping it. My guess, once the power surge occurs, it cannot be reset. Once the switch is flipped, there is no going back. Could be a message for XRP in the XRP ledger. The timing of Stuart Alderoty's tweets and the Hinman emails in the balance. Is the end game near? That's my guess. I think we're getting very, very close to a solution, guys. And David Schwartz, a very intelligent man, tends to post on Twitter with purpose. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is the proverbial switch ready to be flipped once we get the clarity? Coming soon to a theater near you. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.